Good morning, students. Welcome to your civics class. So, yesterday we have discussed about the issues of the equality in other democracies countries. So, today we are going to discuss about the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So, already we have known that Civil Rights Act of 1964 it was started on 1st December 1955 when the Rosa Parks, the African American lady, refused to give her seat to a white man, and from their agitation was started. So agitation means we know that this is the movement against the civil rights of African Americans. So here it took place the civil rights movement. It was discrimination between the African Americans and origin of Americans. So to ensure the equality in America, so government passed a law. So they passed a law. What is this law? Against the agitation means against the movement of civil rights soiled by African American. The U.S. government passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964 to demolish or to remove or to prohibit this in this discrimination among the African Americans or origin of Americans. The American government passed a law. That law is known as the Civil Rights Act of 1964 to ensure the equality among the Americans and African Americans. So what were there in laws? First we will see here discrimination on the basis of race, religion, caste and national origin was prohibited. So before passing the law, there was a discrimination among the African Americans and origin of Americans. So after passing law, so there was no any race, religion and national origin. So feeling was not there among the peoples. But according to this act, schools were open for African American children. They would not have to attend separate schools. Before, where the discrimination was there in America, so there were African American students were going to separate schools. They were studying in separate schools, and the origin of the American students they were studying in separate schools. But after passing the laws, the African American students and American students they all together sit in one class and they study in one school. So this all was done to ensure equality. Why this pass was led by the American government to ensure the equality among the African Americans and American students. So here, despite this inequality exists in America, so after passing law, also there was inequality existing. So like this, if we will see in our country, in the case of India, so constitution has banned the untouchability, but still inequality is exist in some schools. So like this, most African Americans are poor because they were very poor and they were brought over from the Africa for slaves because Americans they were using them as slaves. So whereas white students attend private or highly rated government schools, and what was happening? So origin of American students they were studying in well government schools or well established the private schools, but African American students they were attending the government schools where the poor qualified teachers were teaching. So this was the story about that Civil Rights Act of 1964. So thank you very much.